On the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with the President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, who also doubles as the Deputy President of Nigerian Labour Congress. He brought us up to speed on how the workplace can be safe and also the expectations of workers in the maritime industries from the new administration. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a while since we spoke.
Well, I would like to say Happy New Year again.
Well, a lot has been happening in the labor space, and we have a new president. I think we'll say congratulations to Nigerians for a smooth transition. However, your sector is the nerve of the society of the country when it comes to the economy. What would be your expectation for the new administration? What do you think that they can do differently to move the maritime sector forward?
Thank you once again. I want to use this medium on behalf of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. I want to congratulate the new president, the Aswaju of Nigeria and Aswaju of the world, the newly crowned president of Nigeria. Well, I think maritime sector under the former administration was not given a facelift. We have a lot of challenges that almost crippled the economy. When you say gateway to Nigeria economy, you are talking of the ports. After the oil, what's next is the ports, where so many investors are coming in doing businesses. When you look at what happened, the former administration believed in Lagos port alone. What happened to Calabar port? What happened to Warri port? What happened to road linking to Onne port? Dredging of the port, Warri port, Calabar port. The Port Harcourt port is nothing to write home about. Onne port, the road to that port is like a hellfire. If you are going to Onne port, you need to wake up around 4 a.m. to access the road. It's as bad as that. So I think we need a very good attention coming from the new government towards all our ports in the federations. Because you can't concentrate on only Lagos port alone. So those are part of the challenges. And if you come back again to Lagos, you see our road. It took Federal Minister of Housing and what they call them, almost 8 years to fix 2 or 3 kilometers road linking to Tinker Port. Where now, go to Tinker Port, you're going to spend about 2 or 3 hours from here to Mile 2. It's as bad as that. Where artisans have taken over all our roads. And even the road now, as I'm telling you now, they have erected duplexes, 2-bedroom flats, where you see school children coming out every minute, every hours. If they have not erected 2-bedroom flats on our roads, linking to the port operations, what are those children doing on the road? Vulcanizers have taken over our road. Food vendors, they've taken over our roads. Abajebu, or what they call them, the Lotos, or what they call them, they've taken all our roads. So it's as bad as. So want the new government to look inward and see how they can remove those ones that have nothing to do within the environs of the port. So it's affecting us, and it's not even giving us a good name. It's giving us a bad name in the eyes of international community. So those are the things I think we want the new administration to look into. So aside that, the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, we congratulate him. We know he's going to do his best. We know he has been doing it and he's going to do it.
Okay, I'm taking you back to access to port roads and the port roads being functional. Is there any figure or price that you can put to it to say that the amount Nigerian government will be losing from these ports not being accessible? Because I'm very much aware that neighboring ports have actually taken some of Nigerian customers.
Well, I'm not a statistician and I'm not an accountant, but I know The government are losing a lot of revenue in terms of a container that's supposed to have been what? Cleared for just 1 day or 2 days. You see the container in the port for almost a week or more than. Where demurrage is the order of the day in the port. Who is losing? The government are losing a lot of revenue on that. But I believe if the Nigeria Port Authority will wake up with the Lagos State government to have what we call task force that will make sure that those people that have nothing to do on the road are being what? Asked to leave. I think it's better for the Nigeria Port Authority and the government as well. So those are the areas I think we would like them to look into, because some of investors have equally run away as a result of the bad road. They've go to Cotonou. Go and see what is happening in Cotonou here, very close to us. Cotonou is not as big as that of Lagos port, but their port is very efficient and they are very proactive in their port operations. So those are the things I think we are saying. And we are even make it known to the port operators, I mean the management of Nigeria Port Authority, that there's need for them to work hand in hand with Lagos State government. Over the years, we have what we call a joint task force. If you don't have anything doing on the road, why are you bringing business there? Why are you turning the place to where you sleep every day? So the revenue you're talking about, we are losing it, but I will not know, I will not fix any figure. Because if I was to fix figure, they will be quoting me wrongly. So that they will not say, yes, I've been compromised. So, but we know the government is losing a lot of revenue drive. From here to Tinker Island, from Mile 2 to Papa, a truck will be on the road for 7 or 8 days, or even a month. What is happening? If the terminal operators are not efficient, then the whole of the port will have been closer by now. But they can see the way they are managing their port operations. Each of the terminal operators, they averted so many means of how they can allow the port to not to close down for 24 hours.
Okay, very quickly. Recently, the world, the international community, which Nigeria is also part of, celebrated and observed the International Day for Safety. And we know that it's not peculiar to your sector alone. We know that there are other sectors in Nigeria that the question of safety has been a thing of concern for labor leaders. Generally, what would be your response to safety in the workplace, and how can it be better?
If you are talking of safety, safety is very paramount in the household, very paramount in the mind of even the person living on the road or you're walking on the road. If you are not safety conscious, so many things can happen at the back of you. Yes, the workers in the maritime sector, they are facing a lot of problems in terms of safety. I must say it without even looking back. Where some of the terminal operators have no regard for safety. They have no regard for the workers that are working with them. Where somebody will have an accident, you take the union to start writing, giving ultimatum before they believe that the union is making noise. And if you don't make noise, then we are not representing our members very well. Safety conscious. Some of the terminal operators are not doing, employers of labor in the industry are not doing that. They don't even follow the workers, talk less of their safety. And the law is very clear. If somebody had an accident, what is going to be between you and the employee and employers is to have a meeting between the accident victims. There's what we call a P&I club who oversee the insurance that cover all the workers on board the vessels, both on board and ashore. The way as I'm talking to you now, we have so many serious accidents inside the port. When you write to them for proper meeting, they'll be telling you a story that is not there. So I think the union now, we are now out to all those port operators who have no regard for safety, because safety is important in an environment.
Okay, I spoke particularly with a professional rigger recently who happens to be a member of your union, and that's Ahmed Abdul Salam. And his case was peculiar because his leg was amputated. And even though the company had been communicating with him, there's been no compensation paid yet to him, and he's worried, and even complained that he was even threatened after TVC had an intervention or did a story about him. How would you react to the particular company, that's Eco Limited? How would you react to that development of that kind of accident taking place in the workplace, and yet no compensation, or there is no even talk about compensation, and possibly even address the safety issues that might even be in the company?
Well, I think that matter is so sensitive. It's unfortunate that the young guy leg was amputated as a result of negligence coming from the angle of the terminal operator involved. The environment you are operating, you should have it at the back of your mind that there should be lights there in the terminal. Because I went to that terminal and I saw things by myself. There was no light. They used the forklift light to do some of the terminal operations, which is against the safety we're talking about. The union, we have stepped in on this matter, that the right of the guy, the dock worker, must be given to him in line with the NGIC and in line with the P&I club that we're talking about, because the insurers have to play a very significant role on this matter. The NSITF too need to play their own role so that the dock worker, that dock workers are made, will be adequately compensated. Not only that, it shows that that terminal have no regard for the dock workers that are working in that place, because every time they complain bitterly about anti-labor activities taking place in that place, where they subjected them to a slave labor within the environment. And we want to use this medium to let the other terminal operators know that the union will not tolerate this kind of insensitivity that is taking place from the management of Eco Support, because we are not happy with what happened to that young guy. If somebody had an accident, it's the responsibility of the management to take care of him properly, visit him, console him, talk to him proper. As a worker who have contributed to your success, they have contributed to the progress of the company. But they believe if somebody had an accident, that's the end of him. But the union we are watching.
President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during his speech, said 1 million jobs for Nigerians. Do you foresee that opportunity in the maritime sector? Are there places where you think we need human beings, professionals to come in?
It's possible. If all this we are saying for the past 5 minutes are being put in place, like the port operations, if the roads are cleared and have a very good movement within the environment, it's possible. But if the roads are bad, how do you create employment for people? So that's why Mr. President needs to look at port operation. Is very, very key, is very, very important. That road leading to the port, I keep on saying it for the past 4 or 5 years. It took the former administration 8 years. They cannot even fix the road. And I know the new administration will not allow that kind of a thing to continue. If you want to create that 1 million job, it's possible for him. He knows what to do, but the port needs surgical operations. Our road is very, very important, where you cannot access the road in 5 minutes, but it takes you almost 3 or 4 hours. And I'm sure before you get to this place, you will have spent almost 2 or 3 hours. Those are the things we are talking about. He can do it, but he needed a very good surgical operations to achieve that purpose.
All right, moving forward, recently the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria declared strike in the shipping sector. Can you bring us up to speed why it's important for the union to embark on an industrial action at the moment?
Well, the matter to us is a serious matter where the condition of service of the worker in shipping industry is nothing to write home about. Where somebody has put in 20 to 30 years in services and it's about retiring. If it's about retiring, the retiring of that person is like a death sentence because of his take home. And this matter has been on for almost 4 or 5 years now. We've been on it. We've been having meeting upon meeting with the community involved on this issue of the workers in shipping. But they always try to enjoy what we call impunity. The former Minister of Transport that left directed Shippers Council, who happened to be part of economy regulator in the industry, to midwife this CBA proper with the union. We have sat for almost 3 or 4 times or 5 times. There was no mandate. They keep on dribbling us, visiting us, and behaving as if they are more than the law of this great country. If a minister gives a directive, what you need to do is to handle it, and that is why we said no, we can't continue with this kind of impunity that most of what these international people are enjoying in our country. So the strike is the last weapon of any union leader. When you believe you can play on the intelligence of the workers and that of the union, well, the neck of the union have met and they have directed that we should embark on the strike.
So, if what can be done to avert this?
Our door is always open. You know, we have respect for rule of law. We've given ultimatum severally. We step it down. What we are doing now is to renew the ultimatum we have given out. It's not a new thing. Well, if they call us again tomorrow, with clear mandate coming from their executive directors, I think the better for the port, the better for the nations. We can't continue with this kind of attitude of these employers in shipping that have disregarded the order of the Minister of Transport and that of the ES of Shippers Council. So we can't continue with that kind of a thing.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.